favorite authors and people for the seventh time. I've lost count. The incredible New York Times bestselling author Lisa Unger, here to give us the inside scoop and spill all the tea on the couple in 5B. Lisa Unger, welcome to Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Tell us about this book.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. So The New Couple in 5B is about a young couple, Chad and Rosie. So Rosie is a true crime writer and Chad is an actor, and their luck has been like all bad. They are struggling to make ends meet and they're like trying to have a family and it's not going very well. And then they receive a surprise inheritance of a dream apartment in an iconic New York City building. And they're thrilled to move in. But of course, as soon as they do, sort of some dark and strange things start to happen. And Rosie has to dig into the secrets of the Windermere before she too falls under its spell. So that is the setup for The New Couple in 5B.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am so excited to chat all of the things because as per like all Lisa Unger books, I devoured this one and I have so many questions. So I can't wait to dive into every delicious detail. But before we get started, I just want to welcome everyone. We are broadcasting live to 7 different destinations across Facebook and YouTube. So hey, mystery and thriller loving friends, no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday. And because Mondays can be murder, we're going to make it a little less painful for you and get your week off to a killer start. So
Wow.
if you've been here before, you know the drill. And if you're new, welcome, friends. Here's the drill. Every Monday, I give you my handpicked featured authors, and you get to ask them anything. So ask the incredible New York Times bestselling Lisa Unger anything you want to know about this book, her past books, her writing process, secrets, her deep, dark secrets. We know you got a few, Lisa. We're going to spill them all here on Mystery and Thriller Mavens. Randy's joining us from YouTube. He says, greetings from Indiana. Hi, Randy. Welcome. Renee is joining us from Facebook. She says, hi, Lisa and Sarah from Southeast Florida. Your fellow Floridian there.
Very nice.
Ooh, we have a mystery user who's revealing her identity. She says, hi, ladies. I'm so excited to be here with you. Hi, Wendy. Welcome.
So
Robin is joining us from Facebook. She says, hello, Sarah and Lisa. Hi, Robin. Such a pleasure to see you pop up. Welcome. We have a couple other mystery users very on brand here for Mystery and Thriller Maven saying, hi, friends. Oh, someone's here for the puns. Hi, friends. We have John joining us from Northeast Ohio. Hi, John. Good. Hello. Renee says, this book sounds so good. I pre-ordered your book, Lisa, and I can't wait to receive it and read it. I hope to see you in Fort Lauderdale too.
Yeah, I think, well, am I coming to Fort Lauderdale? I'm coming to the Broward County Library feast, the literary feast. So I think that's pretty close to Fort Lauderdale.
Yay. Okay, perfect. So Lisa, let's talk about this book because first of all, there's so much to talk about here, right? There is a true crime writer. Where's all my true crime fans out there reporting for duty? Me and all of us, right? We have a fabulous, it starts out with a dream inheritance. Who doesn't want to inherit a gorgeous 2-bedroom Sunsplash pre-war apartment in Mary Hill in New York City? So glamorous, except dun dun dun, it isn't. So anyone else also devouring only murders in the building? So I love that show. So Lisa, how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's usually for me, there's usually one thing, there's a seed or a germ, and it leads me to a lot of research. And then the best way I can explain it is if it's something connects with something deeper that's going on within me, then I maybe will start to hear a voice or voices. And those are the voices that I follow through the manuscript. And so this is a little bit more layered than that. So the apartment in The New Couple in 5B is actually based upon a real apartment. My aunt, when I was a kid, she owned an apartment in a building like this. And I, as a young person, I just thought it was the most glamorous life. She worked in fashion and, she was very very chic. And so she had this apartment, and we would spend a lot of time in this, like, beautiful place visiting with her. And but she was like, a complicated person. And so those visits were always sort of layered. And I kind of brought that piece forward. So and I lived in New York City for a long time, and I still spend a lot of time there. So it's always like there's a New York City that like kind of just belongs to me. It's like it's like partially from my childhood, it's partially from my time there as a young student and then a young professional, and then now when I go back it's different again. So there was just something about that relationship to the city and that particular apartment that like sort of was like part of the seed for this book. And then a couple years ago, I had occasion to reread Rosemary's Baby by the great Ira Levin. And there were just some pieces of that too that really kind of resonated with me at the time, like the idea of like trying to like build a life in a place that's toxic and a place that's like working against you. And so there was that piece that I kind of wanted to, explore a little bit as well. So yeah, it was like kind of a combination of those two things that led me to start hearing Rosie's voice.
Oh my gosh, is Rosie after Rosemary's Baby? Rosemary?
I mean, maybe it's like it wasn't chosen, it's just her name. So yeah, maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Like my
Wow.
character names just sort of are just there. Like I don't make their names up. They come with their names. So probably on some level, yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. We're unraveling the mysteries of Lisa Unger
There's Wayne. That's right.
as as
That
we
is
chat.
a lot.
Oh my god, this is a lot. Okay, I have never read a Rosemary's Baby, so we have a lot more to unravel, a lot more
If
to.
I will just say that if anybody listening, if you have not read Ira Levin, you really need to read him, because even now, many, many years later, his work stands up completely. He's one of the, he's just a great American writer. So if you haven't read Ira Levin, I suggest, you know, after you buy the new couple in 5B,
Yeah, after you buy the new couple in 5B, way after that.
you go on an Ira Levin deep dive.
Yeah, I've never read Ira Levin. I must live under a rock, but I will get to work on that right after I get to this. Renee wants to know, while writing this book, which we now know was first inspired by your real life aunt's real life apartment in New York City, did you feel closer to your aunts?
I did. That's a really interesting question,
Ooh.
because the place, so places always figure very prominently in my work. There's, houses and apartments and stuff. And for me, it's like there are these iconic places in my life that
Mm.
like the memories of those places are so just close, right? So my grandmother
Ooh.
lived in Bay Ridge, her entire life. She died when she was 100 years old. She lived in the same neighborhood, from the time she was a kid and, until the end of her life. And so her place, her row house in Bay Ridge is like, I mean, I remember every single detail of that place. And I don't know, I'm not even sure why, but like it's just so there are other places that had greater significance in my life, but that place I just remember every single detail. And when I think about her, she's linked to that place. The same is true of this Park Avenue apartment where my aunt lived, where there was, an elevator man, and it was like this, I remember every single piece of that apartment. And in fact, when she passed, she had moved from that apartment into another one. But my mom asked me if I wanted anything from her apartment, and I thought, oh no, I don't think so. I don't need anything. I didn't think I wanted anything. But my mom wound up taking some things for me, a little crystal hedgehog,
Oh,
and these prints, these fashion drawings that a designer had given her and that she had framed. And so she gave me those things, and I was so glad to have them, because when I see them, I think of her, and I think of, and while writing the apartment, I really felt, those memories were very present for me.
oh, I love that. I love that. Oh, we have one of the mystery users saying, my name isn't coming up, but it's me, Robin. That is, of course, Robin Bonavita. She is Robin underscore reads
Oh,
one.
Reed, hi.
And she's a bookstagrammer, and she is currently reading and reviewing The New Couple in 5B. So
Awesome.
here's a link to Robin Bonavita, Robin Reads, and her latest book pick of Lisa's book. And if memory serves, she just returned from vacation, and your book kept her
That's
away
great.
from her kids. She
I
was
got
not
her
able
in
to
trouble
bond
with
with
her
them.
family. I'm so sorry. But not really. I'm glad you liked it so much that you couldn't stop reading.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Robin says, did you dedicate this book to your, actually you dedicated it to your uncle. Tell us about your uncle.
I dedicated it to I think I dedicated to all three of them.
To all
To
three, yes.
my Aunt Phyllis, my Uncle Mario, who was, a wonderful man, and who also passed away in the last few years, and my Uncle Freddie, who also more recently passed away. So, my Uncle Freddie was my mother's brother, and then Mario and Phyllis was also my mom's sister, and Mario was my dad's brother. And so, but they were all very important, formative figures in my life. And so, they're still very present with me. So I was happy to dedicate the book to them.
I love that. I love it. I especially thought your uncle sounded like a very interesting and fabulous person.
Yes, they all were. They're all very big personalities with, and lots of, good memories of them all.
Yay. We have someone saying hi from Minnesota. Hi. Welcome to the conversation. Everybody, Lisa is coming on before this book is even out to give us the inside scoop, to spill the tea on The New Couple in 5B, as the cool kids say,
That's
and
right.
to take all of your most pressing questions. So the book is not even out. She's just here to give us the inside scoop, mystery and thriller maven style, and take our questions. So we want to pre-order from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book. So whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, here is that link to pre-order tonight. And the good folks at Murder by the Book will ship that out to you the day that the book drops, right around the corner. So here is that link. So click and pre-order so that you can immerse yourself in the world of the Windermere and Rosie, the true crime writer, and her husband, Chad, and also flashbacks from a mysterious character named Willa. So we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
We have a lot to talk about. Okay, so first I want to get to some of this amazing praise that your book has earned. Kicking off with Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was posting pictures of your book in her beach bag, which was the coolest thing ever. And she says, Lisa Unger, you've done it again. Lisa, tell us every single detail about this whole thing.
Oh my God. Sarah Michelle Gellar is like amazing. She's like just an amazing human. She wrote about one of my books, or she mentioned it in an interview. Like, this was a few years ago. And I was, I saw the the little piece that she had written about it, she said that she was a fan. So I went on Instagram and I followed her and I wrote her a note. But of course, she didn't follow me. So the note that I sent like wound up, I was sure it would just wind up in her junk box and that she would never see it. But she eventually did see it. And I had written to say, thank you so much. Can I send you a signed copy? And she said, oh my God, yes, please. I would love a signed copy. So I sent her a signed copy. And so every year I send her a copy of the book. I write to her and say, hey, do you still want a copy? And she does. So I sent her a copy of The New Couple in 5B, as I do pretty much every year. And she was just kind enough to mention it in her vacation pics, which was incredibly cool because, obviously I'm a child of the 80s. Yeah. So like Buffy, hello.
Yes. Oh my
Cruel
God.
Intentions, hello. I mean, it's all.
Oh my God. Yes. So when Buffy the Vampire Slayer puts you in her beach bag and takes your book to the beach. Like, I think it's just like, I mean,
it's amazing. It's like a mind blow. I mean, it's a complete like geeked out moment. So yeah, very super, super exciting for sure.
oh my God, it's so exciting. Sharon, welcome to the conversation, saying I'm always so excited when you have new books out, Lisa.
Thank you,
Yay.
Sharon.
Yeah,
Yay.
you are an auto buy, auto read for me as well, Lisa, and for so many of us here. So we are so excited to chat. Robin says, worth it. Absolutely. Totally agree. So Lisa, and someone had a question back here asking, do you believe, oh, it's from Renee. Do you believe in ghosts or spirits?
You know, I kind of do, but only in this really Jungian way. I kind of think that there are way more questions than there are answers, about the universe. And I've had some interesting experiences in my life that make me, sort of wonder a lot about, the other side, the sort of spiritual side. And I think that there's like a psycho spiritual component to our existence that, Carl Jung was very interested in exploring. Carl Jung, his mother was a medium, and he was very, very curious about the spiritual world. And this was in fact like one of the big places where Freud and Jung broke from each other, because Freud was all about just the here and now, the physical, the real world. But Jung believed that there was a lot more to us and to our brains and to our minds than could be explained by science as we know it. So yeah, I do think that there are a lot of questions, and I'm wide open to what those answers might be.
Have you ever seen a ghost or a spirit, Lisa?
I think I have, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna need all of the deets.
Okay, so I was a kid and I was living in the UK. And I spent the night at a friend's house, and she lived in this really, really old house. It was in a town outside of London called Kingston on Thames. And she had a very old house that she lived in with her family. And I got up to go to the bathroom, and there was another bedroom that was her brother's bedroom, but her brother was off to college. So the bedroom was empty. And when I came back from the bathroom, there was a green light in the bedroom. So of course, I had to go see what it was, because that's the kind of person I've always been.
Some of
So
us would
I
not.
was a kid. I mean, I was little. I mean, I must have been like, I don't know, maybe 10. So I went in and I saw sitting on the bed a man who was glowing green. He had sort of a suit and a hat and a cane, and he was sitting on the bed and he was emanating a green light. And
But
I didn't feel scared or threatened or anything, but I definitely did just leave and go back to bed.
wait, you could get back to sleep after that?
Yeah, I just was like not threatened by it. It just seemed like, okay, there was somebody in that room and it was weird, and I wasn't scared. And that's all I remember from this this childhood memory. So maybe I was hallucinating, but I don't think so. I mean, it
Wait,
stayed with me all my life.
he was a full
Person.
blown person, like not just a
Yeah.
floating head or a floating
No.
torso, like a whole.
Yeah, like a whole person. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Oh,
I
Renee
think
saying,
no,
wow.
I didn't find out who it was. I did not. In fact, maybe I need to go maybe I should go find that house again. I mean, it's still there.
Did you ever tell your cousin?
My friend? No, I never told anyone. I never told
Okay.
anyone
Oh
until
my God.
now.
And this is the first time you're telling everyone? Oh my
I
God,
mean,
Lisa.
I may have told it one other time when somebody asked me if I believed in ghosts, but I kind of do.
Oh my gosh. Well, you'd have to after you saw the green glowing man. So he just was
Right?
sitting there, just
He
doing
was just
nothing.
sitting there. He was just sitting there.
Wow. Okay.
And it
Okay.
felt very benevolent. Like, it didn't feel like it wasn't a green person. It was green person. He wasn't a green person. He was just emanating green light.
But he was skin toned, but
No, he was
emanating.
green. No, he was. He was green. It was green.
Okay, he was a green person. Oh my God. Okay. Oh
I
my
was.
God.
I don't know how much further we can dig into this childhood memory. You
You
need to
need to,
find out who he was. She's right. I do. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to
you
figure it
have
out.
you got to figure it out. You have to go back to the house and find out who owned that house, who died in that house,
Okay,
who
I'm going to do
was
it.
this green man. Yeah, you
I'm
have to go
serious.
do it.
I'm
Oh my
serious.
God.
I am. I'm going to do it. I'm serious.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. And then report back. Oh my God, that could be your next book.
Absolutely. I'll report back. Next time we do this, I will have found out who it was.
Oh
I'm
my
going to do
God.
it.
Sharon saying a new book idea. Exactly. And then remember, everybody, you saw it first on Mystery and Thriller Mavens. This happened
Right.
on Mystery and Thriller Mavens.
The
And
thriller
then
writer who goes back to a childhood house to explore a memory that she doesn't understand.
saw a glowing green man
Yeah.
sitting on a bed. And then, yeah. And then this is the start of your next book. Oh my God. I'm so excited.
All right. It's on.
Robin
It's
saying
on.
we had a sweet older lady who lived in our home many years before us. 3 or 4 of us felt or saw her.
Yeah, I believe
Wow.
that.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I believe it. I mean, like, I don't know that I necessarily believe that's the only, you know, like that we pass and that we're ghosts. Like, I don't necessarily think that that's the only, but I think it might have something more to do with like quantum physics than actual like spirits, like
Wow.
trapped energy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You know, this could go very deep. It could
This
go
could go
very
very deep.
yeah.
Sharon saying, mark down today's date so we all remember being here.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Renee saying, I
Absolutely.
can't wait to hear who he was and why you saw him. Oh my
Right,
gosh. Yeah,
why I saw him. Yeah,
you,
exactly.
you
Okay.
definitely saw him. Robin saying her ghost was a nice lady. Okay, this is good.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're nice. The
I
green
think
glowing
I think
man.
probably most often they're nice, right? Like
I
people.
don't know. I
Most
don't know.
often people are nice. There's a few bad eggs, but mainly it's okay.
Oh my God. Okay. I love this
I'm
conversation.
gonna start coughing now. I'm just getting over a cold, so hold on.
Or maybe it's the glowing green man. We don't know.
Well, he doesn't want me to say any more about him.
We have so many people who weighed in with words of praise. Jocelyn Jackson, New York Times bestselling author of With My Little Eye, raving the tension just keeps building in Unger's latest dark and twisty delight. Come for the gonzo plot, but stay to be haunted by a history-soaked old New York apartment building that feels more like a sinister character than a setting. And for bright, ambitious, clear-eyed Rosie, whose voice stuck with me long after I turned the final page. I loved it, and you will too. Congratulations on that rave review from Jocelyn Jackson. And she is not the only one weighing in. We have Greg Hurwitz, New York Times bestselling author of Lone Wolf, and he had some incredible words of praise too. I'm going to pop this all up so we can see it together. He says, Lisa Unger writes with the totality of her heart. I loved that because it's so true, Lisa. That's you.
Oh,
and
you.
her wickedness. The new couple in 5B has both on glorious
He knows
display.
me well. Greg knows me very well.
Who else could artfully marry a nail-biting domestic suspense with a ghostly edge worthy of Du Maurier? This one screams. I read it in a single sitting. Congratulations, Lisa. Just
Thank
wow.
you.
It's so cool to see your work celebrated and received by so many incredible writers. Claire McIntosh raving about the incredible setting that you wrote about, calling this the perfect creepy setting for this superb psychological thriller, which is beautifully crafted and deliciously unsettling. I couldn't turn the pages fast enough. Lisa, it's so cool to see all of this, all of these incredible authors celebrating you. And now, friends, you can pre-order tonight from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore. That is, of course, Murder by the Book. So whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube here, oh, thanks for all the hearts, you guys. Here is the link, and you too can pre-order the new couple in 5B. Lisa, we had some questions submitted in advance. This one from Brian Larrabee. He wants to know, do you plot? Do you pants? Can you give us a peek into your process?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do not plot at all. I am if I had an outline for the book, I wouldn't be able to write it because I write for the same reason that I read because I want to know what's going to happen. And I don't love the term pantser, because I kind of think of it more as like a gardener. You plant a seed and then like you kind of watch it grow and you give it light and air and you trim and take care of it and stuff, and then the next thing you know there's a novel. And I don't actually think that the processes are so different, like the outliner and people who write the way I write. I just think it takes me longer to write my outline, and it's a book when it's done, not an outline. So I that's pretty much how I do a planter. That's great. I love
You're a planter.
that is perfect. Thank you so much. That is so good. A planter. Yeah, so that's kind of how I do it, but I've always written that way. For me, it's like just about, I have an essence, I have an idea, I have like kind of like a loose sort of maybe feeling about what the book is kind of going to be about, but it's really about, inhabiting character and plot flowing from character.
I love that. I love that. How long does it take you to write a book, Lisa?
My first draft usually takes about 9 to 12 months. And then of
Mhm.
course there's, another year of editing and proofreading and copy editing and all of that. So yeah, but the first draft usually takes about 9 to 12 months.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Let's take this question. Renee says that sounds perfect. Absolutely. Let's take this question from Amanda. She's wondering about any advice you have for aspiring authors.
Yeah, I mean, of course we get this question a lot, and I honestly think the most important advice I can give you is just to find your space to write. Like I think that there's not a lot of permission in our culture for the unpublished writer. Like there's always like a million other things that you should be doing or that you need to be doing. You have other responsibilities like a job and a family, and maybe your partner is not very supportive of that dream, because it's not making any money. Like that's how we really, that's how we quantify things in our culture. But like, I think if you have the desire to write, like if you have a story that you want to tell and you have a desire to write, that you owe it to yourself to own that, and if you own it and it means something to you, then you have to schedule the time to do it the same way that you would schedule anything else that was important to you. Like if you wanted to get in shape, you would say, okay, I'm going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you'd get yourself a personal trainer and you'd make an appointment and you'd keep that appointment. Right. So if this is something that you really want to do, then you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the work to schedule the time and honor the schedule. And it doesn't have to be that much time, even if you're lucky enough to have a couple hours on a weekend, or if you can get up an hour early in the morning, just so that you are honoring that dream, and that you're touching and working on your manuscript as often as you can. You'd be surprised how quickly a novel can develop when you're actually dedicating the time to do it. So that's my best advice. Just write. Make sure you set the time and do it.
I love that. And there's there's so many poignant, wonderful moments in this book. But one I especially loved is when Rosie's early on meeting with her editor Max, and
Yeah.
of course she's hoping that he will say, "I love it, it's perfect," and he says, "There's a lot to like," and then her interior monologue says, "Which means he didn't like it at all," and then she goes on to say, "Writers only want to be told that our work is loved," and I was like, it it was so
So
poignant. I was like, this hits right here in my heart.
true.
Robert
Yeah.
wants to know, has technology helped with streamlining your publishing process or complicated it further?
Oh, that's such an interesting question because, well, I mean, in terms of publishing, publishing still kind of remains like an old school business. I mean, it still kind of seems that way to me. I mean, it's only been like a few years since we like sort of moved away from paper manuscripts. Like you used to get like the big paper manuscript in the mail, and it had all the sticky notes on it, right? And there was something like very tactile and satisfying about that. But now everything is electronic. You know, you get an electronic document and the track changes, which is a program that allows you to kind of your editor to make notes in the margin and for you to electronically deal with it. And same with your copy editing. So I think in that way, like maybe it's streamlined the process a little bit. And it is certainly easier, I think, to work that way. Like, you know, but there's something less peaceful about it. You know, I always felt very like, you know, sort of like when you have that manuscript and you have those handwritten notes, there's like I keep all of that stuff. So I still have those with my like notes in the margin from the editor. So in that way, I think, you know, it's definitely like maybe a little bit faster. You're not like boxing up a manuscript and sending it FedEx to your editor anymore. So which it wasn't that long ago that, you know, we were doing that stuff, you know. And I think in terms of like, you know, just social media and stuff like this, I mean, this is like, you know, this wasn't even possible, you know, 5 or 10 years ago to have this
Mm.
kind of gathering, you know, virtual gathering, which I think is something that, you know, really blossomed during the pandemic. And I think it has stayed around because there are plenty of people that, you know, just have never been able to get out to a book signing. You know, they've never been able to come see me. Like I have a physical limitation of how many cities I can go to. And it's like, you know, there are plenty of people who, for whatever reason, whether it's you're caring for children or an elderly parent, or there's some type of physical challenge that you can't get out of the house, to be able to connect with people who can't, you know, come to the store and say hi is a real gift and a blessing. So I think that there's, you know, a lot of layers to technology, but in those ways, it's been positive.
That is so true. It is so true, Lisa, and I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Kim wants to know, welcome to the conversation. She wants to know, how many words do you write every day?
Yeah, I'm not like a word counter. I know people do that, and like some people feel really like sort of, you know, happy when they've achieved their word count, but like I don't really think of my book in terms of those units exactly. I mean, I probably, you know, probably a minimum of 1,000 words a day, but sometimes it's much more than that. So it just depends. Like, you know, I always feel like, you know, there are these ebb days and there are flow days, like any organic process. You know, you have these days where you just can't stop the word from coming. You can't stop the words and you're just in the zone. And then you have days where you're just kind of like, okay, so what are we doing here? Have I ever written a book before? Do I even know how to write a book? Like, you know, you have those days where you're not connecting with the story or whatever it is. And like, I don't just like, there are some writers that are like, I'm going to put down 1,000 words no matter what. I can fix it later. I don't feel that way. Like,
Yeah.
I don't do that. So if I'm having trouble finding the next space or I can't hear my character's voice, I'm going to get up and do something else. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to, you know, like there are things you can do. You can work out, you can throw the ball for your dog, you can go for a walk, you can bake a cake, you can do the laundry. You cannot get on Facebook or Instagram or answer any emails. Like you can't do that because that takes you out of the creative brain and into the work brain, like the business brain. You don't want to be there. And so you can do things that kind of like will jog loose the creative or like let you be blank enough that you can find that next foothold, and or hear that next voice or whatever it is. So that's kind of more my process than like an actual word count.
Thank you for that insight, Lisa. And I totally agree. I think that's because we're both yogis, right? Like we're not going to
Yeah,
force it. We're going to ebb on the ebb days and we're going to flow on the
exactly.
flow days and it's all going to even out in the end. There's no need to force it. You can
Absolutely
literally
agree.
go with the flow.
Yeah.
Okay, last question because we're actually over time, but we're having so much fun. Renee wants to know, what books are you currently reading?
Oh, so I have my little stack here. So I was really excited today that I got this book by Sarah Pierce,
Ooh.
The Wilds. This
Ooh.
is her early read. I'm a big fan of Sarah Pierce, and I'm excited to read this. So this came today. So that's exciting.
Yay!
And then also, I'm always reading like multiple books. Oh,
Greg Hurwitz!
Hurwitz. You know,
Okay.
I have to say about Greg that the orphan Greg is my friend, my co-president, but I'm also a devoted fan of his work. I don't think there's anybody writing thrillers like Greg. I mean, he has just really got like this very unique style of like just being a super beautiful, intelligent, wonderful writer, and also like great tech, amazing action, super layered character. So I always look forward to my my Orphan X book. And I was telling him today, like I'm literally only allowing myself like one chapter at a time, because otherwise it's over and then there's
I
no
love
more.
that. That's a sign of a good book where you're like, I want it to last, so I'm gonna portion it out and
Well,
only
yeah,
have exactly.
exactly. So yeah,
Oh,
so those are two on my pile right now.
oh, those are some good books to have in a pile.
Yeah.
Robin saying, I'm so thankful for this technology that allows authors and readers together, especially during COVID and especially during
Yes.
our move to a new state where I am in an extreme minority politically. So I'm not out making new friends. Oh, Robin, thank you.
Oh,
We're your people.
we're
We're your
here. We're
people
your
right
peeps.
here. Yes, and we're so happy to have you here with us. You guys, the book is available for pre-order. So get your fingers clicking to pre-order. And the good folks at Murder by the Book, our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore, will send it to you the morning the book drops. So here is that link. Lisa Unger, thank you so much for coming on to give us the inside scoop on the new couple in 5B. And we can't wait to get more Unger, get our hands on some more Unger.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. I love being here with you all.
Oh, we love having you. All right, y'all, that's our wrap for us. We'll be back at the top of the hour with Mark Greening. Go get yourself a snack, a drink, and get back here. I'll see you soon.